You can make choices and changes every single day to create the life that you want to live, and really creating that connection with yourself and knowing how to take care of yourself the best way possible. And then, yeah, just loving people and loving yourself.
There is no me, there is no you. It's this infinite thing flowing around. Power that drives the universe, the same power that creates us. This breathe this magic light. The power that drives the universe is the same power that creates us. Nothing, everything can hide. The power that drives the universe is the same power that creates us. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Spiritual Teachers of Our Time Summit. I'm your host, Jofi I'm Alive, and today I'm delighted to be speaking with Jacquelyn. Jacquelyn, welcome to the summit.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really excited to talk and just be open about a lot of different topics.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. The first question that I have for you is a question that I'm doing to all of our guests here. And this question is, how was your spiritual awakening process like?
Oh, yeah. So that's a very good question. I think lots of times it gets initiated. For me, it was initiated through a hard time that I was going through. It was initiated through feeling having a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. And I think it's at that moment where it's a huge wake up call. It was for me, and in saying like, what's happening here, because it wasn't clear as to why it was happening. It wasn't like an immediate, I was like, in a car crash or something and now I'm getting anxiety. It was very sudden and out of the blue, it felt like at the time. Now in hindsight, I can see how it was, built up over, all these thoughts and things were built up over time. So, physically I felt fine, all these different kinds of things. And then it's like when this sort of like out of control feeling happens within you, and there's no reason in your outside world, at least from, at first glance, as to why it's happening. It's very scary, and it's very, you feel very out of control. And that was the initiation for me to look deeper, because I didn't want to just go on medication or, just be dependent on something like that to make myself feel okay and kind of like numb myself out. So it was really the beginning of searching within. And the first book that I picked up was The Power of Now. And that's what really started my journey. And that was about, that was like 6 years ago now, 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And that was like the start of it. And then it was since then that I just continued on this journey. And then I would say last year is when I got certified in Kundalini yoga, and I really, really was able to go really deep in my spiritual practice and practicing faith and becoming much more faithful again, and really feeling, for me, like the presence of God, and feeling like really connected and a part of the universe and God and people, instead of feeling really separate. And I think that's where a lot of anxiety for me came from, is this feeling of being alone or feeling separate from the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And let's say for someone who's also struggling with anxiety, constantly overthinking and sad, what would be some practices or some tips that you would have for them?
Yeah, I think there's so many reasons people get anxiety. For me, it was the feeling of not knowing. It was the feeling of like not having control in my life, like not knowing where I was going next. And so that was just a lack of control. And so it was, I had to come, I mean, it was a lot of reading, a lot of journaling, a lot of searching, a lot of talking, a lot of things like that. And I would say number one is, you know, reach out for help. Like, luckily I have a very, very supportive family, my parents and my sisters. And so, you know, not everyone has like a built-in system like that, but you can build that type of system for yourself, either through, you know, maybe a yoga studio or yoga community, or maybe through some sort of religious outlet, or, you know, some sort of church, or it just depends. You know, there's so many, I think, different options now, that if you are looking for something like that, I think that there's something that you can find. I even did a leadership course last year that was a lot on emotional intelligence, and there was an amazing support system that was created there, and everyone was very loving and supportive. And I think number one is like, definitely create that surrounding for yourself, and just know that you can create that. And maybe there's bad people in your life, and maybe it's more time to just get those people out of your life, and to really empower yourself to continue having that that story where you can make choices and changes every single day to create create the life that you want to live, and to turn those victim stories into victory stories, and to really be the person navigating your life, instead of feeling like things are just kind of coming at you, which takes a lot of kind of rethinking and repatterning, and yeah, so just, you know, get the toxic people out, bring in the good loving people, find that community, read a lot, journal, get it out on paper. So yeah, those are a few tips. And move. Obviously, I love to move. That helps me always feel really good.
Yeah, love that. So yeah, and how did your yoga journey begin? When did you start practicing it, and why?
Yeah, so my yoga journey, you know, I was a professional dancer for many years. I started dancing when I was a young girl, you know, I was around 7 or 8, which actually, I mean, is kind of late for like a dancer. Most dancers start like 2 or 3, but it was, yeah. So I started, you know, more physically, I would say, for yoga. You know, I got attracted to the handstands and the cool poses and the scorpions, and I was like, ooh, that looks fun. And then I started to, you know, experience more of these mental challenges where I was feeling anxious and I was feeling very overwhelmed a lot, which I've come to realize now that overwhelm is just a kind of is my way of not wanting to deal with something, of not wanting to take responsibility on something. And so I kind of watch that now. When I start to feel overwhelmed, it's almost like I just want to like shut down and be like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. But that's really just like a feeling of not wanting to take it on, or fear that you're going to fail of whatever you're trying to do. So yeah, so I started yoga really from a physical standpoint. I mean, I've been very connected to my body since I was a little girl. And I think mentally I've kind of shut myself off. I think I was very disciplined. So I'm able to really like push through pain. I'm able to like really just like push myself to my furthest. But I wasn't really tending to my mind or my heart. I wasn't really like really listening to my thoughts too much. I was letting you know, I was talking to myself negatively. I was just not having the best thoughts. And so when I started to do meditation and, you know, close your eyes and look inward, it felt very scary. I didn't even like to close my eyes. You know, so it was, that's what really kept me there and really helped me open up like this whole other part of my life, you know, mentally, the meditation and everything like that. And so, you know, when I started to get the sort of anxiety attack. So it's interesting. Like, I think I've heard a lot of people say this too, like physically you get drawn to the mat because of the cool poses. And I think that's awesome, because then you'll be able to, it's kind of like the gateway drug, you know, handstands kind of like a gateway drug, and it'll hook you in, and then you'll be able to like discover all sorts of cool, interesting new things, and be able to really grow spiritually and create deep connections with people and yourself, really.
Mhm. And what do you think, like, are some of the most important benefits long term of doing yoga? Like, not only physically, as you were saying, mentally, spiritually.
Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful way to unionize, you know, your body and your mind and your spirit. Um, it's a it it can turn into a ritual that's really just for you. I think yes, there's you know, sometimes I even teach yoga classes that are more sculpt focused or more like muscle, like aesthetic type of, you know, from the outside. But really, like, you know, yoga studios and yoga practices, you don't have a mirror there. It's really like you are your own mirror. You're really looking inward. And so I think one of the most beautiful things is like the moments where you can just close your eyes and look in. When you can cultivate this awareness of your body. You know, some people don't even think about their toes. Like, some people don't even, are so disconnected from the neck down. I remember I had a personal client one time that I was training, and she said to me, like, she's like, I just honestly like feel completely disconnected from my body from the neck down. Like, I don't even think about it. I don't even look at it in the mirror anymore. I just have the same clothes that I put on every single day, and I don't even think about it. And when she said that to me, I was like shocked, because I was like, I've never felt like that, because I've been so connected to my body since a little girl, from being a dancer. But there are so many women who are feeling so disconnected from their bodies. And it's like, if you feel that disconnected from your body, like, imagine how disconnected you must feel from your life, from maybe even your partner, like how, you know, how you feel intimately about yourself and your relationships. And so there's a lot of so many different avenues of yoga where, you know, physically, of course, that's like so important to feel that connection to yourself and to that, cultivate that awareness. And when you have that awareness around your own body, you're able to, it's almost like a muscle. Like, you can become more aware of your thoughts. You can become more aware of the words that you're using to describe yourself, to talk about yourself, or when you talk to yourself. And then you can develop better, you know, habits, movement wise, and also thought wise, like create thoughts that are serving you. So instead of, you know, talking negatively to yourself, you can actually have the awareness to stop that thought, stop that spiral. Sometimes we go down these spirals of just like, you know, negativity and aloneness and separation and, you know, the victim story over and over again, and having that awareness to stop and to shift over and say, no, this is not true. This is like, I get to create my life. I get to create my thoughts. I get to, you know, be the person that I want to be, and have that strength, and it starts with awareness. So yeah.
So yeah, you just recently released this challenge for people like me who stay lots of hours in the computer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really, really, really excited to be sharing this challenge out. I'm giving, you know, it's a free challenge. And so every day we'll focus on a different part of the body that is at risk from injury from sitting all day. And so, you know, this is our lifestyle now in terms of being seated and being in front of a computer and in front of our phones and everything like that. So people are developing a lot of neck pain, a lot of shoulder pain, a lot of low back pain. And when you have that kind of pain, it's very distracting. Like, you can't really think well, you get fatigued very fast. You're feeling, you know, just kind of stuck altogether. A lot of your energy gets stuck, and that's no way to live, really. And so this is a chance for you to feel good in your body, to feel better, to take a couple minutes out of your day. Really, it only takes we're only going to be stretching for 5 to 10 minutes every single day. So it doesn't take that much time at all. And you'll notice a significant difference in the way that you feel in your body, and you'll be able to prevent injuries, things that are happening to people a lot, like carpal tunnel and things like that, that can be prevented. And it feels really good, and it's fun. And again, like we were talking about before, it just it creates more, body connection. It creates more cultivating awareness in your body. And if you have, if you bring friends along or coworkers, I definitely encourage people to do it together at work. Like, it creates a fun experience for people to do together. And it's based off of my program, Get Stretchy at Work, where, they are just 10-minute videos that you can do at your desk. So all the stretches can be done at your desk. You don't need a yoga mat. You don't need yoga clothes. You don't need any of that stuff. Like, you just literally get on to the challenge, or you can get into my program, and then you have a library of videos and stretches that you can do at your desk. And it's really easy, and you're going to feel amazing and energized and productive and clear. Your mind will be clear. You'll have clarity. You'll have, you'll feel good. So who doesn't want to feel good?
Sounds good. Something that I saw in your videos were that you're doing some time ago a cold ice shower. This reminds me of Wim Hof, the Iceman.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you share a little bit of that experience? How was it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was really, really hard. I mean, I don't like being cold, and I'm actually like always cold. And if anyone knows me, they know I become the biggest baby and whiner when I get cold. So I think I just completed my Kundalini certification when I did that, where you go into an ice bath, and the goal is to stay in there for 3 minutes. And, immediately your mind, it's really just to strengthen your mind. There are some other benefits. I think, like, hormonally, it helps to balance your hormones out, different things like that, inflammation, stuff like that. But it's a really big mental challenge of getting into a bucket of ice, and you basically just have to renegotiate with your mind over and over and over and over. Like, every moment to moment, your body and your mind is saying, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, like every single second, every little moment. And so it really is this constant feedback loop of, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay, it's okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Like, it's that constant talking to yourself and the breathing. And so taking deep breaths and reminding yourself that you're okay. And so it's building this muscle and this mental strength within yourself of really being able to decipher between, when you're in danger and when you're not in danger. And your brain, your brain's number one goal is to keep you safe and to keep you alive. So if it feels anything like that, it's going to tell you to get out. But, that's a very minimal way to operate. You don't want to always just get out of something just because you feel like a little bit at risk or a little bit at danger. So it's really being able to work with your mind and to renegotiate with your brain every single second, and it develops that muscle and that strength, and also to coordinate it with your breath. And so you're able to practice moving into your, calmer nervous system, even when things are in a high stress state. So that's why a lot of athletes do it. It's like, how do you work calmly under pressure? And so you're basically strengthening that part of your brain and through, that part of your system. And you're developing a new pattern for yourself. So it's really, really powerful. Like, it was very challenging. We did it 3 times too. So we went in, and then we go into a hot sauna, and then we go in again, and then out and in. So the back and forth too was really hard. Like, sitting in the hot sauna, you're like, there's no way I'm going back in. I'm not going back in. There's just like that conversation that you have with yourself. And again, it's about creating that awareness of like, what am I saying to myself? Why is this so bad? Like, I did it once already. I could do it again. Why don't I, so you can have that conversation with yourself and really overcome it if that's what you want to do. If you want to become really mentally strong, if you want to be able to overcome challenges and fears and be able to work very calmly under stress and under pressure, I would say it's a good practice. Even the thought of it now, like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's a good way to tell your mind who's the boss here. Something that you've mentioned before was meditation. Like, what are some of the meditations that you practice or that you would like to share? What are some of the benefits?
Yeah. Some of the benefits are, releasing, they talk about your subconscious mind and how a lot of things get stored into your subconscious mind. A lot of things that happen to your life get stored into your subconscious mind. Let's say something bad that happened. Maybe you took a risk and it didn't go well, or you got rejected by somebody, or something like that happens and it gets stored into your subconscious mind. And then after a while, it's like you begin to believe that that's your truth, or that that's going to happen again. There's so many things coming at us all day long, and those things get kind of stuck into your subconscious mind. So when you meditate, let's say you just are quiet, you just close your eyes and you just breathe, you're able to kind of like let those subconscious thoughts go. And like Yogi Bhajan, who brought Kundalini over, would say, like, you literally just like dumping out your subconscious mind, which is similar to like when you're sleeping and you're dreaming, right? That's like your subconscious thoughts, like just kind of taking form. Like, I have some crazy dreams sometimes. And so it's like, it feels like a release though. And so that's one thing, you're just like releasing these subconscious thoughts, and you're kind of like slowing down for a second. It's almost like just stopping before you start again, giving yourself that break. It helps the nervous system to calm down when you're breathing like that. And lots of times you're in your, flight or fight mode, and you're in the parasympathetic or the sympathetic, and you want to be in the parasympathetic, which is the more relaxed state. When you're more relaxed, the hormones that you're even producing in your body are more relaxed, and your body feels safe. And if you're someone who gets, like, let's say, a lot of food cravings is just hormones releasing, saying, we need this, we need that, because we're in kind of like this survival mode. When I know for myself, when I'm relaxed, when I sleep well, like, I don't have those crazy hunger hormones. When I don't sleep well, when I don't get enough sleep, when I'm stressed, I'm like all of a sudden hungry. I need to eat like everything. But it's knowing, again, awareness and deciphering like where it's coming from. Like, are you actually hungry, or like, what are you actually hungry for? So it helps with things like that, like balancing your hormones, not necessarily balancing your hormones. I'm saying getting into a relaxed state so that your body is producing more of those relaxing hormones. Another one is to break thought patterns, looped thought patterns. I know sometimes when I'm stressed about a situation, I will literally repeat it in my brain like over and over again. Like, I just like can't get it out of my mind. And I'm like, if I'm trying to decide on something, it'll like loop in my head. It's like I go through this whole thought pattern. I'm like, well, what if I do this, or what if I do that? Well, maybe I shouldn't. Okay, maybe I'll do this. Okay, well, then what should I do? And then it's like literally like this loop that goes over and over and over. And like, that's so stressful, like that you could drive yourself mad, So there's one meditation that I love doing that's called the Kirtan Kriya, the Sa Ta Nama. And you literally just, put your finger like this. You say Sa Ta Na Ma, and you go one at a time, and you just keep doing that. Sa Ta Na Ma, Sa Ta Na Ma, and you do it with both hands. And you will like break that thought pattern, if you're having some sort of like stressful thought loop going on in your head. And it is so freeing. I can't tell you like how amazing and freeing that meditation is. If you want to take it one step further, like you could, well, obviously you would have your eyes closed, but one step further is that you actually would imagine a gold line dropping down into the middle of your head and out through the middle of your eyebrows, which sounds really strange, but it's to create this like connection and this awareness from your brain and your third eye point. And to visualize this gold line going down to the middle of your head and then out through the middle of your eyebrows with the hands. And it helps you just stay off of your thoughts and onto this line. And honestly, it feels very therapeutic. Like the first time I did it, just having this line kind of go in and out and in and out with the fingers very, very, very powerful. It's probably my favorite. Like with my Kundalini certification, we did so many different meditations, and that was definitely my favorite one. One time we did it for 62 minutes, which sounds insanely long if you've never even meditated for a minute before. And like, know that, like, yeah, definitely work your way up to doing a meditation for 62 minutes. You could start with like 1 minute, 3 minutes, and then 5, 11, 22, like go up from there like that. But it is so powerful. I remember one time we did it in our certification, and I was feeling there was something that was going on with someone, and I was really upset. And I remember I was crying like most of the day, and I like couldn't get my thoughts off of it. I just couldn't. I was just stuck on it. I was like, my brain, I could just feel like I was just letting this person like kind of eat me alive. And then we did that meditation, and about like halfway through, it's like all of a sudden I could feel, we did it for 62 minutes, and it was like I just kind of started to flow with it, and I forgot about my thoughts. And by the time we got out of the meditation, I felt so light. I felt so free. I felt happy. I felt positive. Like I had a complete shift from what I felt before. And I was like so angry at this person. I was so mad, and it completely shifted into like, I was happy. Like I didn't care. I'm like, why was I so worried about this? It was just, it was so freeing, and it was so powerful how our brain can just control our lives like that, or we can let people's actions towards us change our whole life. And so having these kinds of tools and this type of technology in your back pocket to help you is so incredibly empowering. And so I definitely encourage people to meditate and to find that practice for themselves.
Yeah, and that also shows that even happiness, it's not coming from outside of us like we always think. It's when we do these practices and we start to feel like blissed out, we realize that it's coming from within us, and this is it's beautiful.
Yeah, like when there isn't all this like, crap coming at us, your natural state probably is very happy, like a baby. Like a baby like is just very happy because they're happy, that's just our natural state. And they haven't been rejected yet, or they haven't, babies haven't fallen in love and then fallen out of love, so, or felt jaded. So just, remembering that like our normal state, exactly like you said, is happiness, and it doesn't need to come, something doesn't have to happen in your life, or someone doesn't have to come into your life or make a certain amount of money in order for that to be true. So so true.
Absolutely. So besides meditation and yoga, do you have any suggestions for like a healthy living, like other movement practices or nutrition or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love working out, and I have a YouTube channel where I have a ton of different workouts like bar and HIIT and Pilates. Like I just love moving. I think it just feels really good. It's been scientifically proven, it releases more endorphins, so you can feel even more happy. So get outside. I love being outside. I live in Southern California, so I love to be in the sun. And I love to just be in nature. I love to go on walks or hikes or whatever it may be. And also get that community of friends around you that really support you and love you, and that you can do the same for them, because I think that's also super important, and who also want to see you grow. There are sometimes these hidden agreements sometimes we make with some friends where it's almost like you're not going to let each other grow, or you keep each other small. And if you're someone who wants to grow, then get into a community that feels the same way. I think that's super important. And then as far as food goes, like just eat good food, eat good, healthy food, and try to not be so attached to food in terms of like what it's supposed to look like, you know, these 3 meals a day or something, or you're supposed to have like, you know, a protein and a veggie and this and that. Like my eating is kind of all over the place. It's very intuitive, especially as a female, depending on what time of the month it is. It's like sometimes I eat like so much and then sometimes I'm just not that hungry. And I just, you know, again, practicing awareness and becoming super aware and in tune with what your body needs. And knowing, you know, are you really hungry or are you stressed? Do you just need to take a nap? Are you just thirsty? Really kind of like, you know, being curious about your own body and really creating that connection with yourself and knowing how to take care of yourself the best way possible. And then, yeah, just loving people and loving yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Jacquelyn, we're actually coming up on the end of our time for the interview. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with the audience?
I mean, I think that, you know, love yourself, love your people around you, and just always be growing. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and take care of your community, and you'll have a good life.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned your YouTube channel, but can you tell where people can find you on the other platforms and a little bit about the Get Stretchy program again?
Yeah, so everything is Action Jacquelyn. So my website is actionjacquelyn.com, my Instagram, my YouTube channel, my Facebook page. Also, my program is called Get Stretchy. So my Get Stretchy is more of my at-home yoga program for stretching, flexibility, breathing, meditation. And then I have the Get Stretchy at Work, which is the option for you if you're at your desk and you want to do some stretches at your, you know, your desk and or if you're a commuter or something like that. So yeah, so it's either actionjacquelyn.com or I think if you Google Get Stretchy, it'll come up too. Or you could just go to actionjacquelyn.com and everything is there as well.
Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, Jacquelyn, and thank you all for watching, and remember to get stretchy and to love yourselves. So yeah, thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye.